Dude, and the prestige also. How many of these players even
Right.
left inside the qualifier have even had a TI to their name? Maybe like the Fnatic and TNC players, but Execration, Neon, Galaxy Racer, and Boom. I'm pretty sure everyone right now in lower bracket, it would be their first TI attendance for a lot of them. And so,
Hmm.
so much on the line. Not surprising at all that these games are going so long, but that's the kind of intensity that we like to see as we now begin the draft for game number 2. Aries, I think you had something notable to point out after seeing the Rubik and Enchantress being picked up first phase, and yet Execration did not respond the way you were expecting.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna go again. I thought we were actually gonna see the identical
run
first
back.
phase opener. Yep, I said I want more game one. Why not do the same draft as well? But they didn't go the Spectre. I don't hate the Earth Spirit though, because again, this is the opening that they were able to beat SMG with. And of course, we can't hate what BDZ did with the Earth Spirit last game. The only issue is that the Spectre got banned out. So it's just, I guess, showing that they have a little bit more priority on the Earth Spirit. And if they went Spectre, then they probably would have banned out the Earth Spirit there. So,
Bro, this
is
seems
an
like
early
this seems
PA.
like some scrim kind of intel. They first pick Rubik and then they PA. This is not normal, Danog.
Yeah, no. And against the Viper as well, right? You've got the Nether Toxin. You've got a break to be able to be good against the Phantom Assassin. It's... I'm not sure how I feel about it, but the Magnus is still in the pool. They might, do a bit of a throwback. You can have the Enchantress throw that into the position 5 role. We were talking before about how, when you've got, for example, the Nature's Prophet, it's not really something that XtcN and Natsumi could play these days since XtcN's movement, but we saw now Enchantress can be played 4 or 5. It's clearly in both of their wheelhouses, and maybe that's what will be necessary with this PA being picked up.
And now this is looking very much like their one draft against SMG where it was Viper, Earth Spirit, Treant, and then they picked Templar Assassin and Ember Spirit as their last 2 picks on Execration, and it was a safe lane Ember Spirit, mid lane Templar Assassin. Not gonna happen. Neon's one step ahead, we got Bat Rider already.
Yeah, no TA coming through this time around. It would have been nice prior to that, PA doesn't do that amazing against the TA, but Batrider, some good heads-up play coming through from Neon to make sure that doesn't happen.
this is such incredible drafting from either team. You see the Treant Protector getting picked up. PA's a hero that isn't really a Manta builder. Like, you really don't want to be going into that. So BKB is going to kite through you. And Tree loves holding tier 1 towers early. And we know PA is kind of more of a farming orientated position 1. So you're not going to be able to get those towers. Answered by the Batrider. We see the both duo support from Execration. Again, we harped on last game. You don't have a hard dispel. Batrider is going to tear you apart in the late game. We saw what Yopaj did. We're going to potentially see what he's already done. And the Batrider is also protected already because they banned the Phantom Lancer in the second phase. So Neon, incredible drafting from them too.
And Execration are
solid.
covering their bases of it potentially being an offlane Batrider as well, because, yeah, with the Phantom Lancer being banned out of the guest, they're like, okay, you may want to put this Batrider sideline, so we'll ban out the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, and of course, a good matchup against the Puck as well, so that's something that they were also considering, but wonder how they're going to do this, because right now, Batrider, he wants to kind of get in on the front lines, but there's no one there that can soak up a ton of damage. Maybe it might force the Enchantress into being this position 5 role.
We get a DK also. DK is suspiciously not banned out at all.
Yeah, and was one of those heroes that we talked about prior to Game 1 that is going to be pretty hotly contested. Still no Mirana. I'm a little disappointed that my prediction for that one didn't come to fruition, but, it's not an amazing Mirana game. I feel like oftentimes where it shines is when you've got obviously the easy setup into it with something like the Dragon Tail, for example, and still, again, this is not stun gaming. You've got, a Puck with the Dream Coil, which is kind of that. You've got the Earth Spirit roll, and you've got the Overgrowth, and Lasso and Telekinesis is all that's left. But they're going to go a Luna, not care about all of that evasion that might be coming through from the PA when you can eventually transition into doing some kind of magic damage.
Do you have to consider building a BKB now as a Phantom Assassin, as much as I'm sure she probably hates doing so, but you're against Overgrowth, Dream Coil, a likely magic damage Luna, and the Nether Toxin that we talked about from the first phase.
Plus being silenced up by this Earth Spirit. This is the first time I've seen Neon play Void Spirit in quite a while. Like, it is a Yopaj special.
Ha ha ha. We're in for a treat. We are in for a treat.
Mm-hmm. Wonder why it's really dropped off the face of the map. I remember watching like some stats that Knoxville did for the NADPC, and Void Spirit was like the constant across every single mid laner, and now it's just completely fallen by the wayside. But let's see if Yopaj has the tools to be able to, maybe put it on the map a little bit more again.
What is the Void Spirit doing here? Any of the other spirits? I think Ember was still in the pool. I'm not sure if Storm was still in the pool, but yeah, what's a Void Spirit offering here? Because we still don't have any frontline. Like you were saying, it's pretty much just Enchantress. Void Spirit kind of does, but only against physical damage, and we already talked about there's a lot of magic coming from Execration.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it's his role just to try and get it onto the front lines, get that super early Ag Scepter, and try and disrupt the impact that BDZ might have. But we saw that, I mean, up until the 40-minute mark, it was Execration being the ones that were the aggressors. They were the ones constantly trying to push Neon back, and, well, it is going to be another CTM Enchantress as well, so I'm not quite as certain how this lane's going to go. You know, Jug, Rubik, there was the potential, of course, for those early kills with the Blade Fury, but this time around, with even with a tri-lane to begin with, I'm not sure if a PA is going to be able to dish out enough damage to be able to secure it.
Well, if Execration go down here, they're going down swinging. It's very much the same draft that they beat SMG with, but let's see if they can replicate that success in game number 2. Danog and Ares, take it away.
Thank you, Tsunami. Game 2. Elimination match now. Execration, if they want any hope of forcing a game 3, this is the lineup that they're able to do it with. Some comfort heroes, to say the least. We've seen Yahweh already through the qualifiers absolutely pop off on the puck. And before we get too ahead of ourselves, we've got a bit of a smoke on smoke action. We're almost diverging to connect with each other. I'm such a big fan of the all chats from a lot of the Southeast Asian players. They're just so close with each other. You see kind of the camaraderie come through.
I mean, this is the Filipino Dota, right? This is the Rambulan coming through. 10 Pinoy players facing up against each other. I'm not sure if there's like, you know, depending on what island you're from, if you're from Luzon or that sort of thing.
Ooh,
but
hold up,
who knows? All right.
High ground, that is not a place you want to be. Into full radiant heroes. They drag back into his demise. And our Execration, they're trying to take the fight. I mean, the Batrider's not there at the moment. Slowly, we're going to see Enryu waddle his way to help out if a further fight continues to break out. What do they have left in the tank, though? It's like a First Blood, and that should be it.
3 runes, maybe, for Neon.
Yeah, now we
He's going to be able to walk his way towards the top side. Does a bat waddle, though? Like, he's more of a flyer than a waddler.
Yeah. But like, kind of flying sounds like you're... Like, waddle's slow, and he was kind of moving a little bit slow, but flying, like, to me, I just think of it, it's a bit faster in a way. So just kind of describing the slow, yeah. But you are again seeing this tri-lane, so the emphasis... So last game, you have to shut down the Viper through the early levels. If he hits that second point in the poison attack, the lane can start to become disastrous.
You're totally happy to have this solo as well on Neon, though. Like, you need levels on the Batrider. That's why oftentimes we are seeing it picked as that gotcha mid lane pick when people forget about it and it's in a really good matchup. But if you're able to give him this solid start, then there is even some decent kill potential when you've got the Enchantress. You know, when CTM starts to make the rotations through, you're going to still have that Enchant, and that's going to be double slows against something that's relatively squishy like a Luna.
I love what they're doing on CTM. We saw last game, just the recognition already. Like, these teams do not have long in between the break, but your Dire in particular, they're doing the same things to block the camps, and CTM's like, alright, you're going to do that? I'm just going to go to your triangle. I'll take the Centaur Conqueror, farm a camp away, and now I've got a creep to play with.
I wonder how good they're going to be on point with the stacks coming out here, because you've got a Luna, one of the best junglers in the entire game. Are they going to make full use out of that Nico? He's in a bit of trouble here.
Wow. That's a lot of damage. The level 2 Natsumi and Januel. And they can take the tower because the Centaur Conqueror. The timing now expires, but they're able to get a double kill. As Januel, your position 5, is able to pick up both.
He's the carry now. Well, still not topping the net worth. That first blood on Yopaj, leaving him in good stead. But yeah, things looking real solid for Neon to start things out. And it's going to even put more impetus on the fact that these stacks are going to need to build up Dire side, jungle. It's where you want to be as a Luna.
And it doesn't really seem like the Earth Spirit is one of the better supports to be able to create those stacks for someone like a Luna. So
yeah.
I really wonder how that's going to come into play, because we saw it last game as well. Something we're bringing up is that the Enchantress wasn't putting as much emphasis on making those stacks for the Batrider. It maybe might be freed up a little bit more this game because of how well that bottom lane went. So all eyes on the supports movements early on once again.
Yeah, for sure. And you can just see where CTM is positioning himself. He wants to make sure that these stacks aren't happening, even though Earth Spirit, he's one that wants to be brawling. He can't just be standing around here. I wonder if he's going to even just allow the camp to spawn. No. He's going to try and contest with BDZ. He's going to take away the bounty rune as well. So some really... It's a different type of gameplay, right? It's a lot more harassment, a lot more annoying. And I suppose that's what you're kind of considering you've got a PA, right? Like, this is a Natsumi staple. Both teams going for what brought them to this stage.
How do we feel about the mid lane, though? Yopaj up against the Puck. Is there a hero that you feel like might be a little bit more favorable in the lane?
I think it breaks even. You know, the first blood is obviously going to help him, having a little bit of extra stats. He was able to get an earlier bottle, so that refill on the, I believe it was the top rune, really impactful for him. But yeah, I mean, there's always the factor of, I wonder what he's going to be building into. Like, is it going to be straight Ags? Is he going to go a Yule Scepter to be able to try and get the combinations in onto the Puck? Because again, lacking a lot of stuns for this Puck. It's going to be hard to kill him prior to having that silence coming through from the Ag Scepter.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if he doesn't go Yules this game. The setup for the Puck, the silence to purge it off, the overgrowth as well to get rid of it. And that's something I want to bring up, is that there are definitely some ways you can deal with the Void Spirit this game until he gets some of those defensive items. You know, yours, maybe BKB up the bot. We do have some aggression. Nico still doesn't have a second point up in the poison attack. Stacking up the charges, but meanwhile Natsumi and Januel can just turn their attention to deal with Execration's position 5. They can't fight on top of the Nether Toxin, so it's going to cost Natsumi as he has to push back to safety, but he's actually still going to blink on forward. He might be able to clean up all 3. Is it going to be a 5-minute triple kill? It's not. As BDZ, he just gets the roll away, but this bottom lane already for Neon with a 2,000 net worth lead.
Even getting the bottle refill onto Yopaj, getting the D-Ward. Neon, they're in their element. They're feeling themselves right now. And a lot of farm being given over to these cores. And even just Gaben, once more, smiling upon OB.Neon. They were able to get the Harpy Stormcrafter. So that enables CTM, especially into a tri-lane, to have so much damage impact super early on.
Now, how about this top lane here?
Sorry, I just want to point out something really quickly. Have a look at the Dire triangle. How often do you see, with a Luna lineup, you're sentry warding your own hard camp because you're just worried about the Enchantress?
And Ryu, beam, right click, down. Mid lane as well, one more second, might not have enough time. Yopaj, does he want to dive this? He's got Astral Step, he's already used one charge, not going to go in. So, yeah, you dive block there in hard camp.
Yeah.
Good old CTM. If he can't get his own creeps in his jungle, then you see he's going to make sure he can get them anywhere across the map.
Have there been any stacks built up yet, though? I don't think there's any right now on the Dire side.
Even Radiant as well, again, for someone like the Batrider. It's going to be nice if he's able to have those stacks to get a faster route to travel. But how about this top lane? I know we're 6 minutes in. We see Luna's 35 last hits doing incredibly well compared to the 20 on the Batrider. Do we feel like there might be an early rotation from Neon to force Palos into the jungle, or they're just trying to play their own game here?
Well, I wonder how good their communication actually is with regards to, like, what kind of harassment Enryu is taking. Just going to pause that for a second as we've got 3 people down on this bot side. Korea not dying before the Ring of Health gets delivered.
Yeah. Actually committed full with the Phantom Strike, so they sense a sign of weakness here. With the ability on cooldown, but a great rotation. Even Palos wants to show up. He's got an early point in the ultimate. A maxed out beam brings down the Phantom Assassin from downtown, but it is a 1 for 2. And now Palos is in the bottom side, and honestly, is this where you want to be for the Luna? Because you were free farming top.
Yeah, and that's kind of, you mentioned the point being put into the ultimate pretty early on. If they were communicating, they would see that they don't have the Moonglaves available. So yes, you're scaring in a team fight, but if you're able to make a big rotation and push him out of that lane into the jungle, he's not going to have as much farming capability, considering there's no Glaives bouncing around.
And we're also still yet to see our first rotation from Yolwei. And there's both mid laners have a lot of tempo controlling early. And as soon as I say that, they're going to smoke up. They've already got 3 heroes to connect to down bot. Natsumi also just TP'd in. So he has to retreat, and it looks like the Rubik is going to be the sacrificial lamb. I don't believe they'll cut off Natsumi's positioning there. So they get a kill. That will be a pretty early tower. I don't know if Radiant can come down to defend it.
I don't think they can either, and honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that Natsumi, you know, went back down to the bottom side of the map, considering they would have known that Luna TP'd away. So you don't really have anyone contesting you on the top side. I suppose just prioritizing. Oh,
okay, Yopaj, she's in. Coil drop. Now Palace has respectable amount of health to be able to stick around. The coil's been wasted, and Yolwei, the telekinesis, he doesn't get the jaunt away. Sticks around for a little bit too long. And I was saying that Neon, I didn't think they'd be able to defend bot, but in fact, they do just that. As they're looking to push on for more, you don't want to dive too far. As the kickback still Eclipse holding at the moment, Yopaj, he commits forward, but the beams, they're raining down on Januel instead. As Yopaj is able to sidestep up, and now Palace is going to be careful. Natsumi, jump back in. CTM. We've seen what can happen on an Enchantress if you're able to freely dish out the impetus. I know it's only level 2, but it's still stacking up, and we don't have another round of the ultimate, but Yopaj, 3 points Resonant Pulse, that's plenty. We don't see the Void Spirit too often, but a Yap Boy Void Spirit is one we are always treated by when he plays it.
I mean, you mentioned that they don't have a ton of right-click damage now, and it's basically all magic, but I mean, you're very happy to take these big team fights considering you've got the 4 points in the Resonant Pulse. Yopaj is huge. He had a full bottle, able to be refilled towards the start of that. He's going to be able to go back and pick up the Bounty Rune after pushing this mid lane in. And all this time, Enryo, he's just been sitting happily on the top side. 9.5 minute boots of travel coming out from him. So he's going to be able to put a lot more pressure out onto Palace. Like, you can go for a smoke dive here onto the Luna because you know that the Eclipse was used on the bot side. How are you going to turn it around? I don't think you can.
And the worry that I have right now as well is the fact that no one with all the space and all the fights that has been going on down bot is farming too well for Execration. I mean, I know Luna's 30 net worth, but you don't have maxed out Glaives. And I was kind of thinking Luna is a flash farming hero compared to someone like a Phantom Assassin. You have to itemize for that. You need a Battle Fury. But Natsumi's already got 2 components. He's 3, 1, and 6, top of the net worth. And that's not an easy lane versus the Viper, but you see they're able to recognize how can we give Natsumi a good time early. They try and start with the tri lane, they bring the numbers down, any rotation from Yopaj was to bot. And now with the fact that Luna, lacking levels, went for the build to kind of win the lane instead, might just give them the time for PA to get that farm.
He didn't even win the lane. That's the downside, right?
Yeah.
Bat Rider, he's been able to sit back. He eventually did have a little bit of a rough time at the very beginning, but these team fights did not go the way Execration were thinking. You have to think, you mentioned no TI veterans in the lower side of the bracket, so you have to wonder, are some of these nerves potentially starting to get to the players?
Easy. They scanned, so they know they're on the high ground. Coil dropped on 2, but the Eclipse as well. Palace down to the southern side, kills off Enryu. Yopaj is not going to get back to safety as the Viper Strike will tick him through with the poison.
Zhao?
I believe Zhao should make it as well.
Oh, he rolling bowled it away.
It's a big fight though for Execration. A great scan, scouts out that movement into the triangle. They get 2 big kills, and also Palace getting some experience as well. So now he's got 2 points in Glaives, and we should start to see his farms skyrocket.
Yeah, for sure. What's Ara's build been like so far? Just pretty standard Ara build here, 2 points into the Leech Seed. He wants to make sure that his presence at a lot of these tri-lanes, these early engagements, is as high as possible. Really big value, doubling the effectiveness from level 1 to level 2, and then it's just all about the living armor. But still, the fact that that tier 1 tower top went down so quickly, they're not going to be feeling too happy about that on Execration.
Do you like that Palos has not opted for the Mask of Madness this game? Feels like that's something we see often just to again, flash farm, but going for a little bit more of the stat-orientated build, it looks like.
I mean, you mentioned it, like, it doesn't provide any kind of stats, I suppose, and, you know, considering the start that both the PA as well as the Void Spirit have had, you just don't want to be this glass cannon. You know, you're the core. If you die, it is a huge deal. It's not like this pos 4 Enchantress that, well, you're pos 4, right? You will eventually have some kind of an impact into the game.
Well, either team, they are smoking up Radiant. We're trying to connect to the triangle because they were aware of the stack, but a little bit too late on that one. And Neon, they're going to be cautious now of the Phantom Assassin's positioning. But Natsumi seems like he's pretty aware right now of the capability. I say that.
See you later.
What that is. Not a spot you want to roll into, to say the least. 3 heroes and Execration. They're coming over, though. They want to look to try and get a return kill. As Yahweh, Coil holds back too. But in the meanwhile, Yopaj is on the prowl. Gets the drag back with the Remnant. Yahweh still orbs back up. Should be okay here. Actually, they're going to look to turn it back around as they're kiting this further and further back to their side of the map.
Again, they've got the vision, so hopefully Neon look to place down a sentry ward. They know that the smoke was there. They know that the rotation was there. You don't make a 3-man movement like that without placing down some kind of vision.
Meanwhile, with all that time, Luna top of the net worth. That is your Battle Fury completed for Natsumi, and he also has a triple stack at the Ancients. That is a incredible Battle Fury timing. Treads, Orb of Venom, so definitely not naked to say the least. He's only level 9 though, but yeah, we'll see that start to pick up here.
It happens when you're in a tri-lane, right? You're always going to be splitting the experience away with everyone else. So Luna, right now, having a little bit of that XP lead, but that's going to change around massively. Like you mentioned, with that early Battle Fury picked up, they could give him a good amount of solo experience, as I think it's a 4 stack right now of Ancients.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll make it a 5th before he tries to take that one.
Yeah, and we were talking about in the draft, it's very annoying to be playing against all of this magic damage, so that BKB has been queued up already.
Rubik, I get brought down again. We just see supports running into the land where you really don't want to be. Up into no man's territory, getting brought down. Okay, Ira does have a smoke, but it's going to be a bit too late. They had a really nice observer ward up top in the lane that scouted out the PA, falling back to the triangle area, and they also knew that he had the Battle Fury. So I thought maybe if they had a smoke, they could have contested it, but it just got delivered a little bit too late. They're going to try mid instead. Nice timing. Roll in, kick back. The Palace is a little bit too late. Regardless, that beam, not a long enough stun duration. They've got the lasso. And Ryu, a perfect target.
Remnant just held him in place there inside the fire, getting hit by the tower. Fantastic play by Yopaj. Costs him both of his Astral Steps to get away. I mean, it feels like this game, Neon are doing the small things better. You know, Natsumi there was in the blur, farming that big Ancient stack. He had 2 heroes moving around beside him, and he actually waited. He stopped. He realized, okay, I've got this experience disadvantage. I need to be a little bit greedy here. I need to make sure I'm taking all of that solo experience away. So he just stood in the blur for a good 5 seconds and said, guys, get the hell away from me. I need to be able to catch up so that I can deal with this Luna later on.
Bot lane. Eclipse along with the overgrowth. Double ultimates committed for the kill on Ryu. And they will find it as Palos claims that one. 341 gold into the bank there of the Luna, who is officially now top of the net worth.
It's a pretty early Blink Dagger as well here, picked up by RR.
And this is something that Execration have advantage of in their team fight. The coil, magnetize, eclipse, overgrowth. You take a look at Radiant though, very single target orientated. The Void Spirit, pretty much the only one that's going to have that AoE damage. So we've seen time and time again. I mean, these late game fights, I know, of course, 16 minutes in, but when it gets to that stage, that's where team fight really starts to shine, unless you can get that pick off. So, Batrider did an incredible job last game, but you've got to be careful going head-to-head versus Execration.
And it's going to be on Zhao once more as well, right? We saw last game, he was able to steal, I believe, 3 different supernovas. He was taking nether toxins. It was a pretty solid performance coming out from him, but this game, there's some even better spells to steal. There's Dream Coils, there's Overgrowth.
Now, what do we feel like the next item... Speaking about Zhao, where'd he go? Jaunted back to
Just
mid.
into the cause, you know?
Why not? He's like, oh, maybe I can trick him. Maybe I can just play my cards here to somehow get away, but not the case. What do we feel like could be the itemization here for R? Because we see he's got that blink. Could it be like a potential solar crest to just buff up Palos as much as possible? Or is it a bit more of a utility item or defensive item, I suppose?
I feel like the Solar Crest is totally fine, right? Because you're eventually going to have to deal with his PA, and that extra armor that it's going to provide is going to be massively useful. Hell, even just having the armor when you're not using it on yourself is going to be great. And then, yeah, having not gone for that Mask of Madness build on Palos, just providing him with that little bit of extra attack speed as well, if you were to use it on your own teammate, it's going to be super.
Also, another support that's items is starting to progress here is CTM. That's Treads, Dragon Lantern. Guess what? I mean, it's not your Ballista, but a Dragon Lance, the Growbow can do a decent amount of work here for someone that likes to sit further on the backline. And what we saw early on in the game 1, that Spectre Haunt was causing issues for CTM. This time, it's going to be a little bit more different from someone like a Luna.
But you've got a lot more ways now to get on top of CTM as well, even in the early game. Like, your way, he's going to dive in, he's going to use all that magic damage. Still, no point in the Untouchable, actually just got 1 point there at level 9. But that Witchblade, in addition to all the magic damage, should be able to take out Scam pretty quickly. So his positioning even more important as they make another dive.
EDZ doesn't get the connection without the stuns. Trying to scurry away. Yopaj.
Oh, nice!
I think the yours timing.
Yep.
Oh, Yopaj, can he get away though? Astral Step still a cooldown, maybe a deny from Roche. Yopaj! Oh my. Maybe they just take Roche instead. It's like, okay, we've got to get some revenge. You killed the Void Spirit. We got to take your life for that.
Sure, you get the assist, you know, if Roche is the one that eventually takes you down, but I guess not. You've got Enryu rotating through as well, though. He has enough money to be able to buy the Blink Dagger, but doesn't have it yet. How to save up for that
Hit RR. Oh, great overgrowth. Onto 2. They'll kill off the bat. They'll kill off CTM. They see how important this fight needs to be around the Roche Pit. They're going to buy back on the Enchantress. They know the ultimates were committed there. So I don't believe Execration can actually stick around for this. And maybe Radiant, if they get some information that Roche is low, they might think about it. But PA, still without Destro, might be a little bit too hard. They're going to smoke up though. Let's see the angle
BKB,
they want to
though.
take. Very early BKB. Palos. They're all grouped up again on Execration. Smoke's gonna pop. Yopaj is gonna DD. Look at this heart as well. Top of the Earth Spirit, BKB not popped just yet. Natsumi now will do so. And with the jump on forward as well. Great ward of the backline. They're going to be able to utilize that for a Phantom Strike target. And Execration. They have to sound the retreat. But they're actually going back in. They've caught out Yopaj. Coil drop. He's not down just yet. Pals, they stole the coil. Zhanyuo, what a steal. Locking them in. But Natsumi is unable to man fight here with the BKB on Kuda, but it doesn't matter. It's all on Yopaj. The DD still paying off drastically as they get the flame break into the lasso. 5 down on Execration.
Oh, he was playing with fire, you could tell, considering that, you know, the Void Spirit, he was playing on such little HP, but eventually able to get it back. Not too much used in the form of ultimates on either side, to be honest, in that particular team fight. So that might lead Execration to think, all right, well, when we respawn, we might be able to go. No Batrider Lasso available. But, more importantly, just little by little, the net worth increasing for Void Spirit in particular. This Ag Scepter timing is going to be the key moment of importance for him. He's going to get that around the level 15 mark as CTM, he's in no man's land.
We've seen a couple too many supports dying in a peculiar position. He also bought back as well, yep. Yeah. 70 seconds. What's the health of Roche? It's about 2/3, but I mean, look at the lanes, not in a good spot, and I feel like Execration only went for Roche because they literally got a kill or Roche denied while they were all in there.
Yeah. It's not bad though, you've got the Manta style, so he's going to be able to push out that bottom side. Eventually the illusions go away, but mid lane pushed in.
Will.
Yeah, why not? No Lasso, no Enchantress, Roche already kind of weak. Could this be another Yopaj special?
He stole the Aegis.
Know, yes. They do know. They use the Illusory Orb underneath the Radiant Observer. She's just standing there.
How big is his Aegis going to be now for Execration on the Luna? Do you feel like this is going to allow them to take towers and pressure the PA, who doesn't seem to be online just yet.
Well,
speaking about
of the
PA,
she's getting going on.
Oh, TP's still on cooldown. They're going to be able to find it before a BKB TP out.
Nice
use
BKB
it now.
use.
He's got to stand his ground in man fight. As Palace with the Eclipse on the backline, but the Overgrowth controlling the Phantom Assassin. He needs a target to Phantom Strike to. Back to the creeps, but the BKB's now expired. And the rotations, they're a little bit too late. Yopaji's finally going to show up, but they've lost Natsumi. A drag back with the lasso will claim a kill on the Earth Spirit, but now they don't have the numbers advantage, as CTM will fall as well. And Execration find 3 under the T1 tower, and they smell more blood. Yowei, blink in, and Ryu, he's gonna get caught. 4 down.
This feels like it's just the Yopaj show. He needs to be the one trying to get as much out of this as he can, because you still don't have the value out of the Battle Fury, right? You went for that BKB because you wanted to be able to take these early team fights, and if these team fights aren't going your way, that is a lot of farming capability that you've just passed away. See here, level 18 already on this Luna compared to the 16 on the Phantom Assassin. So that's going to be a big deal. Next key timing, of course, that Desolator. But, you have to think even with that.
Are they actually going to fight your Paj here? He's like, I don't think you're going to be able to kill me, brother. I'm pretty beefy. You see, Nico's is actually kind of switched up the build this game. We saw a bit more of the utility. I believe it was a mech into the Lotus as the first 2 items from Nico in game 1. He's gone the Pike into the AC that's queued up here. And we also see the talent as the attack speed. So he's looking to scale a little bit more.
About 2 or so minutes away from Neon's key timings. They're making a smoke play here on Execration's side to try and take advantage of that. They're going to get the kickback onto CTM in time, and that Nether Toxic should take him down. Obviously not wanting to take the team fight just yet, because again, you're about 800 gold away from Blink Dagger on your Bat Rider. You've now got your Ag Scepter, and I feel like you still need that Desolator on Natsumi. So maybe now, when the Enchantress comes back up, you could be looking to go, but that's going to be into a Luna with Aegis. She's going to have her Eclipse back up in about 10 seconds or so. You've got everything online, and it was a good use of the BKB as well previously by Natsumi to avoid the kickback into the Dream Call stun. But I think that's only about 350 gold away from Yowei having his own Ag Scepter.
He's so farmed. 18 as well, so the coil's maxed out. And you're always a big fan of highlighting any cute synergies they have team and hero-wise with the coil. They've got the kick at the moment, so it's not something like a mag skewer, for an example, but it could definitely come into play. But that is now 2 ultimates that are going to be able to control you through BKB. I mean, Overgrowth is 5 seconds maxed out. Coil is a ridiculous amount with the Aghanims as well. That's 8 seconds. So this BKB on Phantom Assassin, it's, I don't want to say a waste of gold, but it's definitely not going to provide you something that it usually does.
It's been punished heavily.
Yep.
And it's not like your supports are saves either. You know, CTM doesn't want to be in the midst of things with his Nature's Attendants. He's gone this Glass Cannon build again. He wants to be dishing out damage in his own right. You've got the Desolator available. How long left on Aegis? A minute or so. So we'll see if they look to just give up this tower or continue to fight on forward. It's going to be rough.
Well dropped.
They caught Rubik
as well.
though.
Natsumi, that's a great BKB. Instantly, the puck's going to get brought down. It's not the start that Execration are looking for. And now with Luna on the front line, Lasso drags them away, so Januel's going to be able to keep their life, and Nico's pretty weak. They actually just have to sacrifice Pelos. Or do they? Reset, roll in, BDZ. He's just trying to get any attention he can brought on himself so Pelos can get back to safety. But they're retreating underneath the Observer Ward.
Oh,
nice
they got the real
attempt with
one.
the Manta, but it's not enough. Pelos, can he still stand his ground in man fight? He's pretty beefy, but it's not enough. They'll drag him back to his demise. As I say that, Natsumi, he might kick out and he will. The poison attack will claim the kill with the help of the double damage rune. But 4 will fall on Execration. An incredible way for them to take the fight against the Aegis advantage that Dire had.
Still get away on RR, but they just the small things. Really good positioning by Neon, making sure that they're staying between their tier 2 and tier 3, taking advantage of all that extra armor that standing around that area provides you. And in the end, Yoei, he's been playing a pretty damn good game. That time around, though, he only caught the Rubik inside the Dream Coil, and that was the key difference there.
Now this one, pretty even with the net worth. Take a look, it's just favoring Execration at the moment. Yopaj is thinking about going on RR. Feel like he's got the damage. Nah, maybe. That is a fat wave. Looks like he just wants that.
He's a core. He wants the farm.
Alright, how do we feel?
Astral Step, recharge time chosen. So I think that's going to be the thing. Like, we were talking about it. They're lacking a frontliner. Yopaj is their frontliner. Like, he is putting a lot onto his back. There was a time when Void Spirit was just released where I was like, man, this guy's strength gain is way too high. It's been reduced since then to just 2.6, so that's nice. Now that you're not just this beast that can do everything in the game, but when you've got the item build like he has, you've still got a good amount of HP, survivability in this game, even with all of these silencers and roots that Execration have on their side.
Yeah, and not just Yopaj as well, with the level 20. Natsumi's closing in on that one as well. So, potentially the armor corruption. He's also going for an Aghanims as the next item here. Do you like this itemization from the position 1?
Why not? It provides you with a basic dispel, I believe. So that's going to be nice against the overgrowth, not needing to pop the BKB for that.
What about Dire? Any big items we're seeing potentially come out? AC's closing in. Lotus Orb as well from RR is about to be completed. Palace, only one component to the BKB. So do you feel like this might just be a couple of minutes where we'll see either team just try and get these items?
Yeah, sit back and farm for the next little bit, I believe. I mean, you've still got a tier 1 tower in the mid lane, so you're feeling a bit more confident about doing it right now on Execration, especially given that you've got a Luna, it's nighttime. But I think Neon are totally happy for that to be the status quo. You know, only 700 gold away from this Ag Scepter. It's going to be a little bit away from Void Spirit's BKB. I don't think you'll have that available by the time this next team fight breaks out, but you will have the 4-star. Actually, no, he's opting to go into the Ag Shard instead. I made a bit of a blunder during our post-game last time, thinking that it was still the old fun one, but now it's just the double flame break, so just boring Dota.
Do you still rate this Ag Shard though? Because I've actually seen it picked up a decent amount. What makes the double flame break so good?
I mean, it means that you can just use it to farm a lot more effectively, right? You can just toss it into a wave with a couple of stacks of the napalm and then just get on out. It's kind of like, who was it? It was AUI that referred to stuff like Ghost Push, basically, where you can use like illusions, or you can use things that allow you to immediately get out of the lane and have a team fight impact, but also change the status of the map.
And with how slow this game is transitioning at the moment as well, we're actually going to see Smoke up. Radiant, I feel like they're in a position...
He could be bait, though.
Showing mid, jump in, Manta, who's the lasso? It's actually on the Viper. So able to bring him down into the start. Nika's actually still alive, and now with the coil, gotta keep in mind that's the Aghanims. So they're wasting the BKB duration of the Phantom Assassin, and Palace is able to stand his ground and right click. PA drag back, but inside the river with the overgrowth controlling 3. They'll bring them both down, and they're in trouble. BDZ, one more right click, he'll fall. But still, Neon, you see the BKB piercing stuns. It's kiting them too heavily, in particular, the Phantom Assassin in these fights.
Yeah, and they've got the range to be able to just... You know, Tria Protector doesn't want to be right in the middle of the team fight. You've got the Dragon Lance on the Luna, so she could just walk away from where the Dream Coil is, even being able to deal a decent amount of damage, having gone that Aghanim Shard. Natsumi, thankfully for Neon fans, was able to get away on basically 100 HP. But still, it's another team fight going the way of Execration with Rosha, that Ag Shard. I wonder who they could give it over to. Yoei? Just another way to...
Luna's already got it.
Yeah, maybe just another way to be able to break these Dream Coils.
Yeah, they honestly don't have the greatest shards on their team. With Luna already having one, then... What's the Treants? I didn't even know.
I guess it's the stone,
okay.
I believe. Yeah. Oh, the root instead of the stone, my bad.
Is Nick... Okay, Nico's actually going to take it.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it, but do you feel like the shard just really gives you tower push? That's it?
Yeah, but when you've got a Luna, you've got amazing
Sure.
tower push already. So it just turns like, you know, maybe one tower into two, or maybe, you know, a tier 3 tower into a tier 3 tower and racks.
Yeah, and I guess if Radiant don't have buybacks, then that like could easily be game. We see what can happen when a Luna walks up your high ground with, you know, tier 3 down, just glaives bouncing back and forth, and it's so hard to then get the jump with all the just being too disorientated. But Dire looking at trying to take a fight here as they're gonna smoke up. CTM's the target.
Oh, no. To be fair, it was
like
a very
guys.
quick DC.
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
It is. I love the CTM, what he said though. It's just lag sec, even though he knows he's dead. It's just like nothing else to say there.
This poor glass cannon, though. He's got the magic resistance, but I don't think that's going to be saving him. He has enough for buyback. 3 gold away from buyback, so yeah, basically has it.
What do Radiant need to do now, knowing that the Enchantress is going to die? Do you just want to see them try and get to top and maybe even someone to wrap around mid to cut the wave? Do they have to reset maybe to offer a potential high ground defense? What do you want to see them do here?
I mean, I'm just trying to see, like, did Yopaj just TP back to base? Is that what just happened?
Yeah, his TP's on cooldown, 77 seconds.
Yeah, I thought he might be, like, in the process of TPing somewhere, but I can't see anywhere on the map that is being lit up by a TP scroll, because he's got the BKB. You know, you could potentially have that turnaround with the Enchantress having the buyback available if they were to use a decent amount to be able to take him out, but it's always so scary fighting into all of this, and the puck even now has the Aeon disc, so that chain lockdown, the silences, it's probably not going to be enough, and you can't even go on the puck with the Batrider lasso anymore. You know, it's just going to break. He's going to be able to get away.
Who is the target you want to jump on now? Because, I mean, maybe, honestly, you actually target Palos when they walk up higher ground, lasso, drag him back under the tier 4 tower. I cannot imagine he's going to survive, although he's goddamn tanky, 3,000 health, but it feels like if you're able to kill him super deep and after the respawn, maybe you can kill him a second time, or do you just want to go on another core instead?
I mean, I feel like you might kill him. You can kill him once, but the second time he's going to be able to get that Eclipse off. You know, to be able to kill him the first time, he'll use all of your CC.
He'll take it. Like, no, there's no way I make it away. Nice move from Execration. I mean, it is a pick off on a support, but it should be able to transition that into a tier 2 tower. And I do want to see, maybe Neon can instantly get a jump before Execration are ready to get set up with this high ground push. This is something that we were able to see from them in that game 1 on Yopaj's Batrider, but Execration, it's too early for them to go up high ground.
Yeah, you just saw the impact of the Ag shot already, though. You know, that tower had minus 7, 8 armor, I believe, completely melted to the Luna, and it means they're able to get out in time for Natsumi? No.
Oh, that was a really, really cool scan from Execration, but he's like, God, do I want this wave? Do I want it? No, his TP is out, but just either team, you see the high-level players and just the awareness coming through.
I think it might come down to luck, honestly. Like, do you get some PA crits happening this game? And that's going to be putting even more importance onto this Viper. You know, if you're able to get that Nether Toxin down outside of the VKB, you can't crit anymore. Like, you just can't. The coup de grace is effectively useless.
Not again.
And,
Not again. Oh, poor CTM. At this stage, it's just space. They're wanting to waste the ages. There's no tier 2 mid, so I don't believe they lose an objective. Or they feel like this time they can walk up high ground because their lanes are in a much better position than what it was previously. And Neon, they're not in a spot where they can jump up before Execration is set up with this push.
They've got Nether Toxin, though, on Zhao, which is nice. He needs to make sure that that's connected in onto the Luna so that those glaives aren't bouncing around your base.
Well, that should just be a full set now. Tier 3 down. They lost the melee and range soon to fall as well. They're going to jump in. Lasso, great counter initiation with the coil. They're not going to be able to drag it back too far.
That's one.
They'll deal with the Aegis. Can they kill him a second time though? Roll in. It eats the Remnant. So they're not going to drag back Palace before the BKB. Natsumi's still looking to jump in. He knows the coil's on cooldown, so he won't be controlled through the magic immunity. They steal the overgrowth as well. Yopaj, magic immune. Actually going to jump back in. Can they go here from Neon? CTM back alive. He's outside the base. Again, CTM, his position's got to be careful. The beams will rip him apart with the glaives. The shard from Palace is enough. And our objective base gaming. They're looking for the tier 3 down bot. Neon, 2 heroes down. They don't have buybacks.
Very
Can
close
they start
on the
this?
Enchantress.
Rubik's going to fall as well. He doesn't have a buyback either. Execration. They smell a sense of weakness here. They're going to hit tier 4 towers. Rubik's got a buyback. Enchantress does as well. Nice awareness from Natsumi. Drags the creep wave into the TP, so they will survive to live another day.
It's looking like a game 3, Ares. I mean, last game did, 90% win probability, but this is 2 lanes of racks. This is a very different situation. You're always going to have lanes pressuring into you. You've even got the double siege creep waves coming now at the 35-minute mark. Bot lane, naturally going to shove in. Someone's going to need to deal with it. But Neon, this is the all or nothing play. Everyone smokes up. They're going to try and find a pickoff. It has to be Palace. It has to be, but he's got the Satanic.
They should scout this out. Yeah, they see the Firefly jump in. Nico, once again, the Viper, just the target of the lasso. Natsumi on the backline. Instinct brings down the Train Protector, but the coils drop, so the BKB might be wasted here. Look at the core duration. They're controlling. Great use of the Yosemite, but the beams. Natsumi's down, and he doesn't have a buyback. As Execration, they can push on forward. They still don't have the numbers advantage, but they have the raid boss in the Luna. As Palace is too farmed for them to deal with.
It seems like just too much. That was the tipping point. They needed to kill the Luna in that fight. And, well, even now beyond that, I believe she has an E-Blade coming out to her. So just in case the PA is able to get in on top of her, she's not going to care. She's just going to sit back, either E-Blade herself, E-Blade the PA, potentially turn around with all that magic damage you've got on your side. This should be game.
Actually going to try and burst him up. BKB still available, along with 3,900 health here for the Luna. So trying to go through this health pool is going to be very difficult, including the Satanic that's also available in the arsenal from Palos. To BKBs, couple we can be committed. Gonna have to look to reset, but the creeps are going to work. The tier 4's unhealable damage here.
This is the kind of game where you might say, GG, end down mid. Maybe not the GG, but this is C Dota. The CGG is real, and Neon, they're not going to give this one up. They know luck could be on their side.
Well, we saw what could happen last game.
Look at his quick buy. I don't know if you're going to be able to farm enough to be able to pick that one up. Yeah. But it feels like it's your only hope at this point. Maybe does anyone have buyback on Neon? That's what I want to know. Yopaj does. I feel like he needs to get out there on the map somehow with a smoke and farm up some of these tier 4 items. Maybe a spell prism, maybe something like that could give them that little bit of edge that they need, because right now it's just a slippery slope that's angling more and more towards Execration.
Yeah, you'll take any little advantage you can get here for Neon. And when you're down this much, I mean, again, we saw what they could do last game. They were down, I believe, a full set and a range racks. It's about 15,000. This game, it's looking more of a challenging feat for them to come back in. But if anyone's able to do it, saw them previously, and it's maybe Dire are gonna wait for that next Roshan, which could give some space for Natsumi. I mean, still the Rapier, it's going to take a little bit too long by the time Roche is up. Maybe they get lucky, who knows? Could be a super long Roche spawn and they don't kill Natsumi for a couple minutes. We're grasping at things here, but you kind of have to.
He's nearly level 25 though, so he's doing a decent job at farming. He's been able to somehow manage his way into the jungle. Lord Gaber does not give him the RNG for some of these neutral drops. Maybe this camp will do it. Of course not. He giveth, he taketh away.
Natsumi's got to be really careful with farming this creep wave. Oh my. And this game we've also seen the hold that as RR. Smoke's going to pop pretty shortly underneath the observer ward.
Instantly thinks
Blink away.
Not taking any chances.
Well, they see Yowei under a ward. He's a bit disconnected from the team.
He's got A on disc though. He should be okay.
Jump in, quick jaunt. My lord, so close. Yopaja's got an E-Blade queued up. Do you like this? Because it feels like Execration have a immense amount of magical damage.
Yes, but I don't think it's for that. I think it's just burst. They need to take out a target. You can see he's got the Dagons after that queued up, so they just need to absolutely wipe someone out before these key things can come through. You know, maybe it's a silence. Maybe they're trying to get a little bit cute with wanting to save their BKB a little bit longer and just instantly take out the Luna if you can.
Well, sorry, Smoke. Neon. Let's see how they can angle their direction for this fight. They're going to navigate through mid.
Natsumi's 25. He's got, yeah, look at this. They're going full luck. Not triple stifling dagger. They just need the extra chance that they're going to get that full 50%.
Nico, he's going to get caught. What a coil! Oh, Puck, it's on to 3. He just picked up the refresher as well, so we can have a second round with the overgrowth. It's locking them all in place. Palace, he's able to go to work with the glaives bouncing back and forth. The BKB's expired, and so will the Phantom Assassin's life. He'll buy back, look to rejoin them, but he's unable to close the distance fast enough. Neon, they need a reset, but CTM won't be as successful. He's gonna try and split away from the team. Assange is there, Natsumi's back in. Keep in mind, the BKB's still on cooldown. Let's see if the coup de grace chance can come into play. Yopaj, BDZ will fall. The bash is there. Is it enough for them though? They'll bring him down. Yopaj has got no buyback. They still kill off the Puck. It's up to Palos now. Can you fight the Luna? I don't think you can. But again, they're gonna delay this. Januel, so hard to catch. Should be able to get the jaunt away. He's got orb up in a couple of seconds here. I believe they will not catch him. Ooh. He's so slow. Force, maybe into TP. Beam's being used. There's the E-Blade. That was the gem as well. So 4 down on Neon. Instantly you see Natsumi trying to shove out top. That's the only lane they have to be worried about here. How's his gold looking as well? 3,700 unfortunately because he did buy back.
Yeah, I mean, he needed to do that. He got away at the end. There's no dieback being used, but that Roche is up with the extra refresher shard. Who would you even give this over to? Maybe the Tree and Protector, because I feel like the Ag Scepter came in clutch that fight on the PA, making sure that he was still able to do some damage during that overgrowth, but not with 2. There's only so much you can have. He had a Satanic, I believe, queued up. Do you need to change things up and go into that, or is it not? He's just going full Divine Rapier. Not if this courier dies, though, with the Relic!
Oh,
you can't...
No!
You can't put it onto that high ground after they've just taken Roche. You know that they've been playing in that area. Just send it through the trees. This is a TI2 throwback. HY, stay in the trees.
Oh, no. I felt like that was their only hope. We'll see. We'll see what they can do, but I mean, the last full set, more than likely going to have... Yeah. I mean, I was going to say maybe they can... They're going to have to go up against Megas without a doubt, but I don't even think Execration care. They can just stick around and hit tier 4s after this tower dies. They're even just letting Nico siege out of all heroes. And he's got that Hurricane Pike, the attack range as well with the talent, Minute of Horn, Ages. I just feel like Luna's unkillable right now.
Alice has been lassoed back into Fountain one time too many. So he's just like, you know what? I'm not even going to be part of this. Maybe now that they've taken out the tier 4 tower and the glaives can bounce.
Well, they do still nether toxin. It'd be pretty nice here. I hear a coil. Who's called to the backline? It's the Bat Rider. Out of all heroes, you needed that lasso flicker. Maybe going to be able to come into play here. One more right click. It's enough. They'll bring him down. It does make space though, as the Age is going to get claimed. But we saw what the Bat Rider could do for them in the game 1 to bring it back. And without this lasso potential, they're going to end up losing their 4th set of racks. Now they have to go up against the Mega Creeps. Not yet.
Against
Very
Megas.
soon, though.
2 minutes left. They are got to try and hold out for 2 minutes. 1, Batrider will be alive. 2, Courier will respawn with that Sacred Relic. I don't know if they can do it against a Luna.
CTM is not in the greatest spot here. Needs to get back to safety. They need every hero they can get for this defense, and while they're throwing to expose, they're going to jump in. One more attempt to hold this second game, otherwise we're going to a potential game 3. As the backline, Natsumi is going to do as much as he can. He's targeting RR. Already one overgrowth has been used. So crit down the Tree Protector, but with the BKB on cooldown, the Phantom Assassin will fall. The buyback on CTM, but they have to call it quits, as this is what we want. We were wanting a game 3. We're going to get it.
We're going to get it. This seems a lot more like C Dota as well. About the same number of kills as last game, but 20 minutes shorter. So Execration this time around able to take advantage of that advantage that they had in the, mid-game or so, and really stick it to Neon with some of these itemizations. Trio Protector in particular, wanting to commend him for going so early into that Blink Dagger, forcing something like the BKB to come out from the PA, and then, of course, immediate response with the Ags coming through from Yoe's Puck.
Yeah, just incredible itemization. Again, it felt like last game we saw both teams, their itemization was so costly for that game to be turned for Neon and to go as long as it did. But this time, Execration, they will not throw the advantage they have, and they're going to force a game 3. Now we are one game away of deciding who is going to move forward here. Neon, Execration. What a series we have. We'll send it to a break. When we come back, the panel will join us to break this down.